Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a look at the basic features of the Foundry Virtual Tabletop, and hopefully it helps players get acquainted with everything they need to get started on their first adventure. Let's take a look. Something every new player should note is that many of the elements of the interface have helpful information as a tooltip when you hover over it. And this can be anything from as robust as something like this for token selection. We'll give you an example video above, as well as a bunch of hotkeys that give you different options related to that tool, to something as simple as, if I hover over Arcane here, a description of the meaning of that piece of information. So you can see that in a lot of elements around the interface. So always bear in mind that if you have a question about something, you can usually get more information just by the informative tooltip. Navigating the play area is fairly straightforward. If I right click and hold, I'm able to pan or drag the play area around. And by using my scroll wheel, if I pull back, I'm able to zoom out, and go in the opposite direction, zooms in. I'm also able to use my keyboard. If I hold Control down, I'm able to use the arrow keys to specify panning. And if I don't hold the Control key, but simply use page up and page down, I'm able to zoom out and zoom in. In the play area, when you have a token selected, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard in order to move one space at a time. You can also click and drag, and you'll get the measurement tools in order to move a set distance to where you drag. So first we'll take a look at some of the basic tools that are in the upper left. We have controls around tokens, controls around measurements, and controls around our journal notes. We'll get to the journal notes in a little bit, but first of all, you need a way to control your player and interact with other players or non-playable characters in the scene. So this gives you the ability to select your own token, as well as other tokens on the board. You also have the ability to target tokens. So for example, if you're attacking or casting a spell, you might wish to target a different token that's on the board. And once a target is selected, with the same tool, you can simply unselect the target and it is no longer targeted. And then you have some basic distance measuring. If you're trying to figure out where to move, how far you can move. And so you can see that here. I have the ability to quickly get an understanding of a move distance or a distance relative to where I began my measurement. So it doesn't have to be your own character. It can be from anywhere on the board. And that gives you the ability to get a sense of scale and distance and measurement. So the next thing we'll take a look at are the measurement templates in the upper left here. And these are useful for illustrating an area of effect in the play area. So for example, you can see here there's a circle, a conical shape, a square or a rectangle, and a ray or a line. So here we'll take our circle template and we'll go out in the play area. And you can see you can click and drag, and you can create any size scale of circular template, which will now illustrate this 15-foot radius area of effect in the play area. And then once you've illustrated that, you can select it and you can remove it. The next thing we'll take a look at is the panel all the way to the right-hand side of the screen. So you'll first notice there are several tabs up here that do different things. We'll be taking a look at the chat as well as the encounters panel today. So as far as the chat panel is concerned, it's almost like a game log. You can see that there are chat messages, but also all of the actions that players and non-players, such as enemies, have taken throughout the game as well. So Hemet cast a lightning bolt, for example, and you can see the effects of that. You can also use this as a player if there's a need to make an ad hoc roll for some reason at the request of the GM, for example. So I can roll a d6 right now. And I rolled a 5. That's pretty good. So now we're going to hop over and take a look at the Encounters panel. So the Encounters panel is going to be used for an encounter, self-explanatory, such as combat, but there might be other situations in your game that also require its use. You're going to see the round of the encounter that the party is currently in, and then you're going to see the list of the tokens of all of the actors involved with the encounter in the order of the initiative that was rolled at the beginning. So you can see that initiative value to the right side of each actor token. Now we're going to take a look at our particular character sheet. So you can access your character sheet by double-clicking your character token, or you can simply do it by using C on the keyboard. So you'll notice that in our particular module here, we're using Pathfinder. This character sheet will be unique to whatever game you're playing. So if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you'll see that, as well as other modules support character sheets that are specific to the game system. So you can see once we do have our character sheet open, on the left side, we have some of our most critical stats, like our hit points, our armor class, and then some quick rolls options for things like perception, initiative, and your saves down here. So I can hit this and it'll give me the options to quick roll a fortitude save. There you go. On the right side of our character sheet, we have our core character attributes. So you have your basic background information, languages, speeds, and again, quick roll options if you have to swim or climb, fly or burrow, which this barbarian cannot. And then our attribute modifiers, which are obviously based on the attribute values. So these are filled in initially when you create your character, and then are automatically updated as you progress and level up. So also on the right side of the character sheet is where you'll be able to explore these different panels as well. Now this is, again, going to be rather Pathfinder specific, but Dungeons and Dragons will be similar for the most part, and you'll have other experiences depending on the game module that you're playing. But in our case, I can see the actions that are available to this particular barbarian based on their equipment, feats, etc. I can see and manage the inventory for this character. If this were a spellcaster, there's the ability to view and manage spells available. There's the ability to craft. This is an important one, proficiencies. So all of the core proficiencies and skills for this character can be viewed and updated here. And of course the feats for this character that you're able to manage and build as you progress and level up. Conditions and effects that are typically temporary. And finally, you have the ability to have bio and a little bit of specific information about the character as well. So hopefully this has been helpful in getting to know the basics of Foundry and getting you off on your first digital adventure. If you're interested in checking out Sqyre for hosting your instance of Foundry, you can definitely check out the registration link in the description below. Signing up is completely free and you can actually get started today. So check it out and we'll catch you next time.